Magic didn't start balanced, it didn't start refined, and it didn't start safe. Magic started raw. Alpha wasn't just the first Magic set, it was a design experiment that accidentally created some of the most powerful cards ever printed. Cards so strong they would go on to define formats, shape bans, and influence game design for the next 35 years. Today, we're counting down the 10 best cards from Magic's very first set, Alpha, based on power, impact, and how deeply they changed the game forever. This is where it all began. Let's get into it. At number 10, we're starting with a card that established one of the most fundamental ideas in Magic, interaction. This card didn't win games by itself, but it decided which spells were allowed to resolve. At number 10, we have Counterspell. For 2 blue mana, Counterspell simply reads, counter target spell. That's it. No conditions, no hoops, no restrictions. Counterspell set the baseline for permission Magic. Every counter printed since has been measured against it, usually unfavorably. Even today, 2 mana unconditional counters are considered too efficient for many formats. Simple, clean, iconic. Next up is a card that taught Magic players a dangerous lesson. Consistency wins games. This card doesn't care what strategy you're playing, it just finds the best card in your deck. At number 9, we have Demonic Tutor. For 2 mana, Demonic Tutor lets you search your library for any card and put it into your hand. No restrictions, no drawbacks. This card defined Black's identity forever and forced Wizards to rethink how powerful tutors should be. Even decades later, Demonic Tutor remains one of the most played cards in Commander, and for good reason. We're grouping together 2 cards that introduced one of Magic's most dangerous mechanics, symmetrical card draw. These cards refill hands, disrupt plans, and enable combo turns that spiral out of control. At number 8, we have Time Twister and Wheel of Fortune. Both cards reset hands and redraw 7 cards. An effect that sounds fair until you realize how easily it can be abused. Graveyards get shuffled, resources get refueled, combo decks get reborn. Wheel effects have remained staples across formats for decades, and it all started here. Next up is a card that became the most played card in Commander history. At number 7, we have Sol Ring. For 1 generic, Sol Ring taps for 2 colorless mana. That's it. That's the card. Sol Ring is the definition of acceleration, and its inclusion in nearly every Commander precon cemented its legacy. It may not be legal everywhere, but where it is legal, it defines opening hands. Next up is a card that would go on to be restricted, banned, errated, and feared, all because it messes with one of Magic's core rules. At number 6, we have Time Vault. Time Vault grants extra turns, a concept Alpha introduced far too casually. Over the years, this card has enabled countless infinite combos and forced constant rule changes just to keep it functional. Even today, Time Vault remains one of the most infamous combo pieces in Magic history. Next, we're going to look at 10 cards, and every single one of them changed deck building forever. These lands made multicolor decks reliable. At number 5, we have the original dual lands: Underground Sea, Volcanic Island, Tundra, and the rest. These lands have no downside. They enter untapped, produce 2 colors, and count as basic land types, making them fetchable and abusable. They remain the gold standard for mana fixing, and nothing has ever truly replaced them. Next up, we have 5 cards that collectively redefined what free meant in Magic. At number 4, we have the 5 Moxen: Mox Pearl, Mox Sapphire, Mox Jet, Mox Ruby, Mox Emerald. 0 mana artifacts that tap for colored mana, a design mistake so severe it permanently altered how Wizards evaluates fast mana. This card does exactly what every player wants: take another turn. At number 3, we have Time Walk. For 2 mana, Time Walk gives you an extra turn. No exile, no restrictions, no downside. Extra turns are one of the most powerful effects in Magic, and Alpha handed them out for the same mana as a Grizzly Bear. Next up is a card that is so efficient, so iconic, and so fundamentally broken that it's often cited as the best spell ever printed. At number 2, we have Ancestral Recall. For 1 blue mana, Ancestral Recall draws 3 cards, or forces your opponent to draw them. Card advantage doesn't get cleaner than this. It's banned almost everywhere, restricted where it's legal, and still one of the most powerful Magic effects Magic has ever seen. And finally, the top spot. This is the card that became synonymous with Magic itself. The card people think of when they hear the words broken, power, and alpha. At number 1, we have Black Lotus. Black Lotus costs 0 mana and produces 3 mana of any one color. It enables absurd starts, impossible plays, and turns that should never exist. No card has ever symbolized Magic's early imbalance more clearly, or more famously. There was never any debate. Black Lotus is the most powerful card from Alpha, and arguably the most powerful card of all time. Alpha was Magic before limits, before bans, before restraint, and while the game has evolved dramatically since then, the legacy of these cards still looms large over Magic today. Let me know in the comments, which Alpha card do you think aged the best? And which one should have never existed? If you enjoyed the list, make sure to like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.